On a quiet Sunday morning in July, the K-pop universe was flipped upside down. Lee Chae-rin, better known by her stage name CL, the legendary rapper, singer, an icon of empowerment, dropped the bombshell that sent shockwaves through social media and every corner of the music industry. She was getting married. For over a decade and a half, CL embodied independence. As the leader of the pioneering girl group 2NE1, she earned her title as the baddest female by fiercely dominating stages, breaking fashion boundaries, and writing her own rules. Fans affectionately called her Queen CL, someone who stood unapologetically single, fiercely focused on her art, and seemingly untouchable. So when she posted a black-and-white photo of herself in a sculptural wedding dress holding hands with a man whose face was obscured, the world held its breath. The post was simple yet profound. Her caption read, "Found my equal at 34." Within minutes, the hashtags #CLGetsMarried, #QueenCL, and #BaddestBride were trending worldwide. Twitter exploded, Instagram flooded with speculation, TikTok was ablaze with fan reactions and theories. The news outlets scrambled to verify what everyone was seeing on her official account. The photo itself was arresting, CL in an avant-garde wedding gown, dramatically draped with layers of white silk and tulle, standing against a dark, moody backdrop. Next to her, the groom was dressed in a sharp, unconventional suit, a modern twist with wide lapels and a velvet sheen, but his head was turned away from the camera. His identity was left deliberately hidden, igniting a wildfire of speculation. Years, CL had managed to keep her private life airtight. In a culture where even the smallest hint of a relationship could spark scandal, she had mastered the art of mystery. She was the unattainable, fearless queen, an idol to millions, a muse to countless designers and artists, and a beacon of confidence for young women everywhere. Seeing her in a wedding dress at all, let alone confirming she had found her equal, felt almost surreal. Fans flooded her comments with a mix of emotions: joy, surprise, disbelief, and pride. She really did it her way. Like always, I didn't even know she was dating anyone. How did she keep this a secret? Some even jokingly mourned their own chances with her. There goes my wife. Congratulations though. News articles began pouring in within the hour. CL announces marriage in shocking Instagram post, blared one headline. Another declared, "The Queen finds her king." CL stuns fans with surprise wedding announcement. Even her closest industry colleagues were caught off guard, it seemed, though many quickly offered their congratulations. Fellow 2NE1 members Dara, Bomb, and Minzy each posted heartfelt tributes. Dara's read, "My sister, my queen, my beautiful bride, wishing you a lifetime of happiness." Bomb shared a throwback photo of them on stage together, writing, "You've always led us with strength and grace. Now it's your time to be loved just as much." Minzy added, "You've always been our baddest female, now you're also the most beautiful bride. So happy for you." Other big names chimed in as well. G-Dragon, her longtime friend and collaborator, simply posted a crown emoji and a heart on his Instagram story. Taeyang wrote, "Wishing you both endless joy and art in your marriage." Even members of Blackpink and international stars like Pharrell Williams and Will.i.am, both of whom she'd worked with in the past, left their messages of love and awe. But as the world celebrated, the question on everyone's mind loomed larger: who was the groom? The groom's identity was the best-kept secret in K-pop history. At first, fans assumed it must be someone from outside the industry, a businessman, perhaps, or someone completely unknown. Others theorized that it might be a longtime collaborator or creative partner. People scoured her Instagram for clues, digging through years of posts, looking for any hidden signs. They found little, some cryptic captions, a few photos of hands that may or may not have belonged to the mystery man, and even an old lyric she once wrote, "I'll meet you in the shadows where art meets heart." Speculation ran wild. Some fans thought it could be G-Dragon, given their close friendship and years of creative collaboration. Others guessed it was someone she met while working on her solo albums, perhaps one of the producers, photographers, or stylists she'd grown close to. But no theory seemed to fit perfectly, and her silence only deepened the intrigue. By Monday, the media frenzy had reached its peak. Paparazzi began staking out the building. Though CL hadn't been officially affiliated with the label for years, others tried tracking down her last known whereabouts, hoping to catch even a glimpse of the couple of together. Few blurry photos surfaced of CL leaving a studio with a tall man in a black hoodie, but nothing definitive could be discerned. Fans speculated whether the groom was Korean or foreign, from the music world or completely outside it, older or younger. What made this announcement particularly fascinating was how it defied the usual narrative. In an industry where female idols often marry much older men, or even leave their careers entirely upon marriage, CL's declaration of having found her equal, someone her age, felt revolutionary. Spoke volumes about her continued refusal to conform. Some fans began combing through her lyrics for hidden meanings. 2019 track done, she raps, "Found someone who speaks my language, lives in my chaos, moves with my madness." One fan commented, "She's been telling us all along." Even music journalists began to weigh in, publishing op-eds about what this could mean for K-pop's notoriously rigid dating culture. One piece in Billboard read, "CL's announcement isn't just about love, it's a declaration of agency. In finding her equal, she's redefining what partnership looks like for female idols." But just when the buzz was reaching a fever pitch, CL struck again. On Tuesday evening, posted another photo, this time revealing his face. In the image, the couple stood in a dimly lit studio surrounded by canvases, records, and candles. CL, in her wedding gown, leaned into him with an unmistakable softness. He was staring directly at the camera, arm draped protectively around her waist. The caption was short and sweet, "It's always been you." And the groom was revealed, Christian Yu, better known as DPREN. The world now knew his name. DPREN, the mysterious creative force, the man behind some of K-pop's most iconic visuals, and now, the one who had captured CL's heart. For many, this revelation felt like the missing piece to a puzzle they didn't even know they were assembling. For others, it was a union that seemed inevitable in hindsight. Two artists, both magnetic and mercurial, whose paths had crossed in the shadows of the industry for years. Christian Yu, known professionally as DPREN, was no stranger to reinvention. Born in Sydney, Australia, he began his career as an idol under the name Rome, the leader of the boy group C-Clown. But when the group disbanded in 2015, he quietly disappeared from the limelight, re-emerging as one of the most visionary directors and musicians of his generation. He co-founded Dream Perfect Regime, DPR, a collective of artists, directors, and producers dedicated to creating music and visuals entirely on their own terms. As DPREN, he crafted an aesthetic that was haunting, cinematic, and deeply personal, exploring themes of mental health, love, and identity. When the news broke that he and CL were getting married, his name shot to the top of search engines worldwide. Articles and think pieces about him flooded social media. Videos introducing his work gained millions of views overnight. Fans of CL who weren't already familiar with him quickly became enamored. For those who followed both artists, pairing felt poetic. Both had walked away from the mainstream K-pop machine at the height of their careers, carving out their own lanes without compromise. Both had used their art to express raw, often uncomfortable truths, and both had cultivated a fierce independence that drew people in. In the days following the announcement, more details began to emerge about their relationship. According to close friends, they met in 2016 when CL hired DPR to direct the visual campaign for her US solo debut. At the time, she was living between Seoul and Los Angeles, navigating the pressures of breaking into the Western market. She wanted something different, something cinematic, edgy, and authentic, and DPR was the only team she trusted to deliver that vision. From their very first meeting, sparks flew. In the cliched, romantic sense, not yet, but in the way two creative minds immediately recognized each other. They spoke the same language of art, of chaos and control, of beauty found in unlikely places. Over the years, they continued to collaborate on numerous projects. He directed her videos, held her photo shoots, and even helped conceptualize stage designs for her tours to the outside world. It all looked strictly professional. To them, was something far deeper. One insider revealed, they've always had this undeniable energy. Watching them work together, you could tell there was this trust and intimacy. But they were so good at hiding it, I don't think even their closest friends knew the full story. In interviews, there were hints, subtle, almost imperceptible. In a 2018 profile, CL had described her ideal partner as someone who understands my world, but doesn't try to tame it. Someone who lets me be free but stands beside me through it all. Fans now realized she could have been describing DPRN all along. Similarly, in a 2020 interview, when asked about love, DPRN responded cryptically, "Love, for me, is when chaos finds its rhythm. When the person you're with doesn't try to change your darkness but dances with it." In hindsight, their respective art had been telling their love story for years. His music videos, full of longing, duality, and devotion. Her lyrics, about finding someone who speaks her language, who sees her fully. The wedding itself was a masterpiece of intimacy and spectacle. Held in a secluded art gallery on the outskirts of Seoul, the guest list was kept intentionally small: family, a few close friends, and select collaborators from their careers. The space was transformed into a surreal dreamscape, with installations of flowers suspended from the ceiling, candles dripping wax into mirrored pools, projections of their joint works playing silently on the walls. Guests described the ceremony as both profoundly moving and deeply personal. At one point, couple stood in the center of the room, holding hands, reciting vows they had written themselves. CL's voice cracked as she said, "You found me in pieces and never asked me to be whole. You just loved me as I was." He smiled through tears, replying, "You've been my muse since the day we met. Every frame I've shot, every lyric I've written, it's always been you." First Dance wasn't to a traditional wedding song but to an original track they had created together, a hauntingly beautiful ballad that blended their styles seamlessly, her fiery delivery and his smoky croon. As the night wore on, newlyweds mingled with guests, laughing, drinking, and posing for candid photos. At one point, they even took over the DJ booth, spinning tracks that ranged from nostalgic 2NE1 hits to DPR's underground bangers. The following morning, social media was flooded with snippets from the event. Though no official photos had been released yet, fans marveled at the way they had kept their relationship private for so long in an industry known for its scrutiny and invasive gossip. One fan tweeted, "They hid an entire epic romance in plain sight and turned it into art. Legends." Another wrote, "If CL and DPRN can find each other in this crazy industry, there's hope for all of us." Beyond the personal joy of seeing two beloved artists find happiness, their marriage sparked larger conversations about love, gender expectations, and authenticity in the entertainment world. For decades, female idols in particular had been discouraged, if not outright forbidden, from dating publicly. The prevailing notion was that they belonged to their fans, that revealing a relationship would tarnish their image. Many were pressured to marry outside the industry, and to older, wealthier men, after their careers had cooled. But CL had never played by those rules. And by marrying someone her age, equal in both artistry and ambition, she was challenging the very foundations of the system that had sought to control her. One editorial in a major Korean newspaper summed it up perfectly: CL and DPRN are not just two artists in love. They are a symbol of a new era, one where women can choose love without sacrificing power, and men can stand beside them without overshadowing them. Fellow artists were inspired too. In an Instagram post, soloist Sunmi wrote, "Watching CL and me walk down the aisle on her terms, it gives me so much courage." Even the notoriously reserved Jin Entertainment issued a rare statement, saying, "We sincerely congratulate CL and DPRN on their marriage and wish them endless happiness and creativity together." As the dust settled, the couple released a joint statement through their social media accounts. It read, "To our fans, family, friends, thank you for loving us through every chapter of our lives. Today, we begin a new chapter together. I've always believed that love and art are the same. They require honesty, risk, and trust. We promise to keep creating, together, as long as we live. CL and Ian, it wasn't just a wedding, it was a revolution, and as CL and Ian looked at each other, two equals, two visionaries. Souls who had spent years weaving their lives together in secret. Everyone watching knew, this was only the beginning of their greatest collaboration.